Hey, welcome. So, when you think about what it means to be successful, what comes to mind? Probably a very specific list of things, right? Well, what if I told you that everything we normally see and measure is just the tiny, tiny tip of a massive iceberg? Today, we're diving deep to find out what's really holding that whole thing up.
Yeah, I know. That's a pretty bold statement. But honestly, things like fancy degrees, big job titles, a healthy bank account, those aren't the cause of success. They're the result. The real stuff, the skills that actually drive achievement, are way deeper, way more powerful, and for the most part, completely invisible.
So let's talk about that visible tip. What does it look like? Our source material for this actually gives it a name, the stable elite. It's that picture-perfect version of success that society basically sells us on, the one we all recognize in a heartbeat.
Right? This is the 20% of success that's sticking out of the water. You know the type. They went to the right college, got the impressive job, married the perfect person, and now they've got these amazing kids who are like national fencing champions. It all looks so smooth, so stable. But that is just a tiny sliver of the real story.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We've just looked at the tip of the iceberg. Now, we're going to explore that hidden 80% lurking underneath. We'll break down the two most critical skills you'll find there, and then we'll see how they come together to create the blueprint for an entire life.
So here's the absolute core idea. That visible 20% we just talked about, it's being held up by a massive unseen foundation. And that foundation, well, that's your subconscious mind. It's the part of you that's running the show from behind the curtain.
I love this metaphor for how your mind works. Just picture your conscious mind as a general, right? He's in the command tent, looking at maps, thinking logically, and giving out orders. But the real intelligence, the real work, that's being done by millions of subconscious scouts out in the field. They're the ones seeing everything, recognizing patterns, and sending back those gut feelings. And to get a sense of just how much work those scouts are doing, get this. Every single second, your senses are taking in about 11 million bits of information from the world around you. Every single second. And this is where it gets crazy. Of those 11 million bits of information flooding in, your conscious general can only process about 40. Just 40. The rest of it, more than 99.999%, is being handled by your subconscious. That's where the real thinking is happening.
All right, let's zero in on our first critical subconscious skill. This is the one that guides some of the biggest decisions you'll ever make, like, say, choosing a life partner. We're talking about intuition, about those gut feelings.
Think about when the two characters from our source material, Rob and Julia, first meet. Their subconscious scouts go into absolute overdrive. In literally 1/10 of a second, we're talking faster than a blink, before anyone even says hello, they've made these incredibly complex judgments about attraction, trust, and even competence. It's amazing. And those first impressions are so powerful, they can set the course for the entire relationship.
But why is this emotional, intuitive judgment so critical? Well, let me tell you about this guy named Elliot. He was a successful businessman, but after a brain tumor damaged the emotional parts of his brain, he completely lost his ability to make decisions. His IQ was still sky high, but he'd spend like 3 hours trying to decide which pen to sign a document with. He lost his job, his wife, everything, because he couldn't feel the right choice anymore.
Elliot's bizarre story led the neurologist Antonio Damasio to a huge breakthrough. It turns out emotions aren't the enemy of good decisions, they are absolutely essential to them. Basically, your subconscious tags every experience you have with a feeling. That's what creates those somatic markers, or as we call them, gut feelings. It's a lightning-fast guidance system that tells you, hey, this is good, move closer, or whoa, bad idea, stay away.
Okay, now for our second skill. And this one is formed even earlier in life, and it lays the foundation for literally everything that comes after. I'm talking about our ability to form deep, nonverbal connections with other people.
So let's meet baby Harold. From the instant he's born, he is not some passive little lump. Nope, he is an active, powerful, social creature, and he comes into the world with this incredible toolkit designed for one single purpose: to connect with his mom, Julia.
And this isn't just cute baby stuff, it's a sophisticated communication system. Through an intense gaze, Harold and Juliet literally create a shared world between them. Through touch, his brain physically grows and builds the pathways for feeling secure. And by imitating her, like when she sticks her tongue out and he does it right back, he's actually learning to understand her mind from the inside. The neurological magic behind all of this is something called mirror neurons. Here's how to think about it.
When Harold sees Julia's smile, the neurons in his brain that are responsible for smiling start to fire too. He doesn't just see that she's happy. On a brain level, he actually feels a little echo of that happiness himself. It's the brain's built-in hardware for empathy. It's how we feel with each other.
So we've got these two incredible subconscious skills, right? A powerful intuition for making choices and this deeply ingrained ability to connect with others. So how in the world do they come together to actually build a successful life?
Well, it turns out those early patterns of connection and trust that Harold learns with Julia, they become the fundamental model, the subconscious blueprint that he's going to use for the rest of his life. That first relationship shapes how he'll pick his friends, who he'll fall in love with, how he'll act in a job interview, every social interaction he ever has.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. We have this idea that we're these isolated individuals who just kind of figure ourselves out on our own. But as the poet Coleridge pointed out, our very sense of I, our sense of self, isn't something we invent in a vacuum. It's something we discover through the eyes and the touch and the love of another person. Our minds are literally built to be in connection.
So if the entire foundation of success is built from the subconscious up, from that hidden 80%, then the big question isn't just about how we train our conscious general with more facts and figures. The real question is, what are you doing to train your scouts? How are you listening to your gut feelings? How are you practicing deep, meaningful connection? Because in the end, it's those invisible parts of your mind that are really in charge and really guiding the way.